We're supporting the Last Poets, the godfather of hip-hop, the original rapper before rap even was a thing. I thought I'll do a classic piece, which is a bit political. And some of you have heard it, some of you probably haven't heard it in years, and other people might be new, but here it goes. Propaganda is what we're fed as food for thought. The news channels corrupt our minds with their crude remarks. They want to tell us what they want us to hear, withhold the truth till it's dire, till it's too late and whole nations are submerged in fire. No news coverage. Our soft approach has made it harder. And now when it's too late, you campaign for aid in Gaza? 2 billion sent to help support the nation. Rather, 2 billion sent to be intercepted by Israelis in balaclavas. Times have changed now. We need to fight with proper force. They use cluster bombs, not a sword. Invade with jets, not a horse. And of course we know our history. In the past we've been slow at stopping wars, but is our history so far back that we don't remember the Holocaust? I'm sure you do. It's a staple in schools nationwide, an attempt to make it right because response last time was way too shy. Anne Frank caught our hearts, made us feel guilty, sad and passionate. I bet the next edition of a diary will be written in Arabic because fighter jets block the sun, the ground below becomes darker. There's only one victor when the devil raises his archers. One side shall die noble, one side shall claim martyrs, and the other shall burn like white phosphorus on children in Gaza. And the other shall burn like white phosphorus on children in Gaza. And the other shall burn like white phosphorus on children in Gaza. You're barely ready to step in the Sahara. You're barely ready for these blows to get harder. You're barely ready for the floor to become lava. You're barely ready for your deepest fears to become darker. 14,000 buildings destroyed. A marker to show where they be. Bomb 50% of a nation where 50% are not even 18. When their lives flash before their eyes, all they see is death, oppression, and occupation. I'm surprised the skies haven't turned red from all the bloody condensation. Their excuse to start bombing was rockets fired from Hamas. Hamas only fired rockets because Israel cut off their power, water, and gas. With corpses, limbs, and rubble to the brim Gaza is filled to. Left with a simple decision. You either starve or we'll kill you. Because the cold hard truth of the matter is this. This war ain't based on race, ain't based on face, it's based on hate and fighting those that take your state. They will remain in place, stand firm and state their case, and die for their people and freedom before they trade their faith. Because fighter jets block the sun, the ground below becomes darker. There's only one victor when the devil raises his archers. One side shall die noble, one side shall claim martyrs, and the other shall burn like white phosphorus on children in Gaza. And the other shall burn like white phosphorus on children in Gaza. And the other shall burn like white phosphorus on children in Gaza. Next up, we got Nicole May, so give that applause.
Next one.
Hello. Yeah. So I'm a part of Inner Voice as well, and I'm Nicole May, and I can see some friendly faces, so it's really cool. So I'm going to do this piece called Headlines. If headlines streamed out of my mother's eyes, they'd leave scars like carefully crafted tribal markings. No longer did she wear rose-tinted spectacles, as each fistful fear-receiving punch left shards of glass embedded in my mother's skin. This man was a corridor creeper, creating movie features just before dinner. So if I could wrap my mother's heart in newspaper, just after he beat her, it'll tell you that this was a daily occurrence and he was inhumane with each stomach-crunching, gut-wrenching movement. Her pain was muffled by her fist in her mouth, trying to hide the sound of the hectic domestic. But the neighbours could experience cinematic radio plays translated into radio plays. But still they ignore behind concrete walls much thicker than closed doors. So if I could wrap my mother's heart in newspaper, just after he beat her. Her melody of despair would descend self-conscious images. She stays for the children. She stays for love lost now, coated on bloodied fists, as he promises he won't do it again. Yet the neighbours remain silent, as if watching movie credits roll up with familiar names like Mrs. Matthews, Mrs. Edwards, Mrs. Lewis. They can be found on the psychiatric unit. Mrs. Evans, Mrs. Parveen, death by misadventure. So if I could wrap all these mothers' hearts in newspaper, if I could wrap my mother's heart in newspaper, just after my dad, just after him, just after my dad beat her, they'd leave scars like carefully crafted tribal markings. Thank you. Right.
How are you tonight? You guys alright?
Yeah?
Yeah, give me a minute, let me get it up to my standard. Yes, apparently. So my name is Enemy. I'm very, very happy to be here today. The last poets are absolutely incredible. I'm so honoured to be opening for them. We're in a voice. We're so glad we've got so many friendly faces here tonight. Thank you guys for coming. You're going to have a good show. Definitely. I'm going to read a poem. Prometheus.
Are all the staff here booked on for tonight, or can anybody get on here?
No! Go on!
Just the lineup, I'm sorry.
Just the lineup.
Yes. Prometheus and the Dictator.
Should have told me that at the door.
Prometheus and the Dictator. I'm playing pro. 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 Prometheus on the rebound. I'm unbound. I double dutch to the future. Suture sparks into steeds. I'm hungry for deeds. Limbo in the loop while fiends do the weeding. Medusa's in feeding. A Mau is breeding. Bring a match, bring a machete. Let's mosh pit these rebels. No bass, no treble, just a slight, light bite to the devil. Pitchfork tongues, ruin all the fun. World is for the rich. Babel was had me in stitches, laughing off a fit. Swallow whole songs, set your beat on the tablet. Break a hot hell like a billboard prophet, hung by the nose. Striking a pose we strive to oppose. Infinite, infinite, infinite foes. So I told the Dictator, subliminal virtuosity is porous, and it slips through mental locks unbridled to meet you in arranged matrimony at the altar of your psyche. Then you find your very self humming to my tunes. Then you find your very self humming to my tunes. Then you find your very self humming to my tunes. You've grown to love me. You say I'm crazy, call me a loon, but I'm catchy. Iambic is my pentameter, so I'll come again and repeat myself so you can catch me. You got me? Yes, incarcerate me now when it's time to flip verse. See, I've been kicked and I've been pushed, so I reverse. Watch the walls closing in, pick up a beat, pick up a beat, pick up a beat, pick up a beat, and serve my sentences through bars. And so I told the Dictator, diabetic strongmen with peptic ulcers and gout, who bark childish orders of snot-nosed rebel soldiers, I told them it had to halt, so they dropped their guns, lit bonfires to build effigies of hate and violence that declared them criminal. And so I told the Dictator, naturally, all I want to do is neo-colonize your native mind, take you back and weed those foreign thoughts that have made the now cursed fruits of your rich soils cursed. Watch your climates climax in their first subsistence with the insistence that you feed your people's hunger for thought. And so I told the Dictator, call me a traitor, send my brainwashed skin to spill my life, then sing me martyr. For I am high treason, but you can't quell our grassroots dissidents. Shoot the messenger, but deliverance has come. So when you come, oppression on your barrack, semi-automatic on your right, balancing your pot belly. I shall cower, but my feet will hold, and my fists will fold before I surprise you, gesticulating incessant obscenities in your direction to remind you of your current state of fodder. Pass through the intestinal tracts of male bovines. You sit there, the flies circle, a musky mound of bullshit.
Yeah!
Fire!
Yeah!
That lovely round of applause going for the best poet with Mr. Thompson. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Hello.
Right. Are you enjoying the set so far? Lovely jubbly. I wanted to do a piece about power because I feel that tonight's event is going to be all about the power of words. And this piece I wrote when I felt extremely powerless. It's called Count, and it's about the Nigerian girls that were kidnapped. Alumde, 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 alumde. Count 2, 3, 4. Before you tell me it's the 21st century, I beg you to count until you get to 234. Count in Fulani and Igbo and Yoruba. Count their names as they fled from them, as they were herded into the trucks with the livestock and the food, enlightened by fear. Count 234 slaked hymens, 234 tawny backs, 234 mealy mouths, 234 articles on terrorism. A father faints, and a mother holds her tongue like an altar. Ay, 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 alunde, alunde. Money slips between the hands like oil, the unspoken prophet of patriarchy, or is it patriotism? Obama is counting on securing his place before China steps in, and it has taken 2 weeks before the news gets to me. And where was Alex Crawford in all of this? Reporting on Pistorius, or was it Peaches? A Russian model posts a topless picture. Bring back our girls across her shallow chest. A Yorkshire woman tells Jeremy Vine that we should just give them the money because immediately an African issue reads as charity. An American reporter jokes, bring our country back, as a member of UKIP reduces it to black on black crime over Roy Bosch tea and a Twitter feed. Are you still counting? I have finished and started again. Searching for the algorithm of powerlessness, distracted by the fractal patterns of social diffusion. Someone get Chomsky on the phone, or Desmond Tutu, they'll know what to do, or maybe we should just speak to Diane Abbott. I don't know, maybe we should just listen to what some other black woman thinks about all of this. But in the meantime, zoom in on their ululating tonsils and the dance in their despair. I wonder if in 234 days we will indulge this family again as though their last name was McCann. Forgive me for forsaking the power of symbolism when pragmatics are out of reach. I wish that I could stand here, red top, placard, and sing, bring them back, bring them back, bring them back, believing that somehow one of those girls will hear me. Thank you.
So I don't have a title for this piece, so I'm just going to get straight into it, you'll get that. Like thoughts for the introvert, infinite when written into gigahertz, but mostly never delivered into audible melody and left to deplete like a childless man's legacy. A vagabond, the wandering Berber, traded sand for tarmac because he thought it would lead him further, and even if the road is murder, he won't stop once he's started. With determination as evident is the inequalities in a free market, like a masterpiece for Arto's fire, lasting in sentiment. The singer man don't tire, and the parting song lasts so long that no one can leave, as it spreads throughout the planets like Roman beliefs. But I can't quite grasp the pragmatism. birthed out of surreal like Dadaism, weaving wisdom out of nonsense. Thank you.
Yeah! In the voice! What?
We figured we'd write a piece specifically for this event, for this show. So for that, I'd like to invite back onto the stage the rest of Inner Voice. And our percussionist for today, which is Adisa. Yes,
Are you conscious? Are you conscious? The central axis of our orbiting mind needs replacement. It demands a shift in time. We are in turbulence. The turmoil has unleashed Azazel and Astaroth to arise, waking with us. Rapacity, bloodshed, capitalism has become some people's morning mantra. Charleston, a black boy, a black brother dies, and a police officer is free. Baltimore, London, 15 shots for mistaken identity and another police officer is free. Palestine, Congo, oh Congo, Congo. Toy soldiers are deadline in the streets, Congo. And generals, they go free. Are you conscious? Are you conscious? We purposely pursue distractions, dislocating our dreams, decapitating the ghost from the machine. Our ego cannot reason with it or our aspirations to reach self-actualization. We walk through mirrored massacres, not learning. Art is an expression of the mind. It's time for a revolution. Are you conscious? It's time.
Fire! Fire!
This is the madness Malcolm told us to expect when we make passive our attempts at progress. I will not sit on the dock of the bay wasting any more time or forfeit my right to equality today for a tomorrow that may be better. Centuries tell us that tomorrow is nothing but the sun of today. Deja vu is on his face. The eyes of oppression continue to tattoo white supremacy on holy black parchment. So riot is in my voice. Raging war against the ledges we are not all privy to. Urgency is pivotal. I choose to be a catalyst. I choose to be an activist now. Because centuries tell us tomorrow is nothing but the sun of today. It's nothing but the sun of today. I hold these truths to be the elephant in the room. All men are not created equal. Some are born scaly. And in our pacifistic pursuit of symmetry, we forget history knows no crimsonless revolutions. This is the madness Malcolm told us to expect. When we make passive our attempts at progress or accept access to anything less than another human being inherently had yesterday. If you ain't ready for a revolution, I said if you ain't ready for a revolution, you better get out of the way. Out on the streets, face to face with police. Keyboard warriors of the information age. Crowdfunding their way to political change.
Or can you bring down a regime with a Facebook page? Period. I'm tired of revolutions. Tired of retreading old wheels and flogging them for new. Tired of a roller dipped in whitewash making Rothko on my back. tired of the same old shit coming up over and over, tired of feeling blue. Period. The Arab Spring was more of a monsoon-type typhoon or a hurricane or a tornado, whichever spinning delirium describes death and destruction best for you. I'm tired of brightly flowering democracies always offering a begrudged fruit. I'm tired of Venus flytrap governments. I'm tired of alienation. I'm tired of the conservatives. I'm tired of traditional values. I'm tired of one more go at the biggest wealth appropriation from the public since I don't know when. I'm tired of the word austerity. It's a razor blade between my lips. It cuts and I drain food banks, bleed the taste of tin food, swallow hard like only a poor man can. Period. And the Titans, the giant Goliath, his den, they have us all living in these same-face housing estates, afraid of our fate. Little David's forgotten the craft of slingshots. Period. Newsprints built paper temples of cynicism. Period. Or decommissioned puppets. Period. Damn those shadows we treat like gods. Period.
This is an ode to the opinionated, those that don't hesitate to speak out, an ode to those online campaigning accounts and catchy hashtags, an ode to a selfless act, an ode to a Muslim daisy chain protecting white tourists from gunfire like faith was bulletproof, an ode to the youth, especially those that read, and anyone that deactivated Facebook in search of real conversation, an ode to a black man not resisting arrest, an act of parallel self-immolation, an ode to those wielding camera phones more trigger-happy than police, an ode to those that put the phones down to actually intervene, an ode to being naked, because there's nothing revolutionary about nipples on t-shirts, an ode to the first person to vandalise a white church by putting an afro wig on Jesus, an ode to the forgiving, an ode to the self-efficient, DIY-driven, and the giving, without ego attached, because the revolution is not in the activist, but in the act.
Yeah!
Out in the streets, face to face with police, keyboard warriors of the information age, crowdfunding their way to political change.
But can you bring down the system with a Facebook page? Anyone can move. Any man can move. Any woman can move. Anyone can move. But you'll twist up your neck looking for the next Malcolm X. You'll denature your ego and spin your soul out into sheep's wool. Anyone can pull their curls past militant to stratospheric and end up eclipsing the message, like some kind of Jupiter. Or diligently prickle along their roots like the Abyssinian trees of juniper. Or end up being that white woman from Illinois claiming that she coined a common phrase, I can't breathe. As though a dying man's last words were rehearsed, someone should have told her.
Yes,
The
I.
revolution isn't about you, but you must contribute. Like Balaclava to Zapatista, like Emery to Black Panther, like one man's flames to Tunisia. We're all butterfly wings waiting to flutter. Don't bruise up your knees, pleading for another leader as though you have nothing to offer.
Revolution.
You'll twist up your neck, looking for the next Malcolm X. It's not about who makes the first move. Anyone can move, but no one is a movement.
What? Yeah.
Every government is corrupt, and we live in a nation built upon thieves, liars, politics, and assassinations. Guy Fawkes tried to be a legend and took up his armaments. The only guy with enough balls to try and overthrow Parliament. I could be like Che Guevara, leading my team at will, wielding a pen and submachine gun with equal skill. Communism was the goal, he preached with passionate wisdom, and now his t-shirts are like hotcakes. That's capitalism. It's better to die fighting for freedom than be a prisoner. Like it's better to die screaming the truth than be a whisperer. Bob Marley taught me that, and now he's stuck in the grave, but his music's still jamming even to this day. Water the tree of liberty with the blood of a tyrant. Is it possible to have a revolution without any violence? Gandhi tried to tell us peace was the way in, and Martin Luther King Jr. taught us the same thing, but both got taken out by bullets for their ample text, so it's by any means necessary like Malcolm X. I could go out like Malcolm X, literally. 2 shotgun blasts whilst I'm on this stage giving my speech. And if guns were never made, John Lennon would sing the chorus. And so many more revolutionaries would still be speaking for us. But instead, us last poets are here reciting our thoughts, singing there's no better way to die than to die for the cause.
Out in the streets, face to face with police. Keyboard warriors of the information age, crowdfunding their way to political change.
But can you overthrow the government with a Facebook page?
Yes, sir!
Check us out on Facebook. Come and chat with us afterwards.